Hello. I think I'm not muted anymore. Hello and welcome. I'm so glad that y'all are here. I guess I should bring my stuff down into the actual frame. So I'm working on another unfinished project. So this particular one was a mix of pages. Most of it that I selected was from the Apothecary Garden set or digital from Calico Collage. And then I had decorated or started to decorate the other side of the page that had the digital image. Another image was from the Amarillo Rose. And on this side, I had some scrapbook papers and whatnot. And in this one, this is an element from the autumn teal or something like that from Calico Collage. That piece was, and then on the other side, I had a bunch of scrapbook papers left over and some green and oranges that I put in there. And this one is from Grandma's Garden on that side. Again, a digital image. I had printed these on really thin paper. Hi, Shawnee. How are you? And Julie, so glad to have you here. The papers were really thin, and so I didn't want to use those as the sole paper when I made a page for my journal, so I backed them by collaging on the other side. And some of these have kind of the same technique where I had layered papers on top of the other paper, which gave it more bulk doing that. And in fact, I kind of used the same technique on all three of these. I had 3 different papers that I glued down. On this particular one, I made pockets. This one I also made pockets, but this one I only made pockets that I put on top. I glued everything down and then added on top of it. So those are some of the pages, including this one. This one needs a little bit more stuff added to it. Then I have a cover that I've started. I like the journal that I made last week. So if you didn't see that one, it turned out really pretty. It's got a little more elaborate stuff on it than what I probably will end up doing today. I've got a few things laid out that I think I might use, and I will take your input if you think I should change that. But this one was a 12-inch by 9-inch piece of cardstock that I did kind of the Franken page on top of and backed it with another piece of cardstock. So it's 2 thicknesses. And then I made a punch on the front and the back and then tied some ribbon on there. So same concept. This is 12 inches by 9 inches. And then I scored, let me get my good ruler that y'all can see. So 5 3/4 of an inch about from this edge I scored. And I did the same on the other side and scored so that I have a little bit of a spine here because it was 12 inches. This works pretty good for 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper folded in half. Now, if your paper is bigger, you may have to have a bigger cover, or if your pages are smaller, you don't have to have quite as large as a cover. So I kind of collaged a few things. This is scrapbook paper. This is interesting. I like to clean up my edges on my gel plate. And so, hey, Michelle, I ended up using a piece of book page that I would just kind of clean up all the edges. And then I went back in and kind of added some more color. And then I brought this into my software as I digital download and printed it. And I just like how it made this pretty paper, and I can use it again if I want. This is a book page that had a gel print on it. The pattern for the gel print really didn't turn out very well, so I used a couple of rubber stamps, and I think they're laying right here. This one is kind of like a French correspondence or French script. I can't remember, but it was a Beeline Design stamp. And then this one is from Viva Las Vegas Stamps. I got the opportunity several times to go to Las Vegas, and I got to go to this actual stamp store while I was there, especially when Stampo was his name, is what we called him. I think his name was, I'm trying to remember if it was Kevin or Frank. Oh, I can't remember his name. I got to meet him in person, so that was kind of neat. So I always remember him when I use a Viva Las Vegas stamp. He used to have bichons, several of them, and that was my first experience of a blind dog. I was thinking, a blind dog is just, they're not going to have much of a life. And what was interesting was he had all these other bichons, and they would walk in front of him because he was on a motorized wheelchair, and the dogs would walk in front of him, but the blind dog would pull up the rear and follow all the other dogs all the way into their shop. It was just interesting memory for me to bring up. So I just kind of collaged all over this. On the other side, I just used some green cardstock. I didn't wait for the glue to dry, so I have a wrinkle here. Wait for the glue to dry. Do as I say, not as I did. So you won't have wrinkles. So I haven't finished anything on the inside. I may or may not. I didn't on the other one, but I just wanted to add something there. I did have a scrap. This was a leftover piece of the apothecary garden that I cut off the other side of that page for something, and I took a piece of cardstock and backed it. And so I was thinking that this could be on the front cover, and I know I covered up this image, but that's okay. I know it's there, right? And I wanted that to be visible at the top. So I grabbed a few things. I found my cheesecloth. I had a bucket, and I call it a bucket. I had a tub, a basket over here beside me that I had used on my retreat. And apparently what I did was I stuck it over there, and then I proceeded to put stuff on top of it. So I didn't know where my cheesecloth bag was. Now I do, because I have a drawer that even says cheesecloth over here. So whatever I don't use, I'll just pop back in here. And I had just pre-dyed a few pieces using some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist, so I would have a few pieces ready, and then I've got more in there that I can use. So let me pop that back over here. So I was kind of playing around with my scraps. I had a book page that I've gone around the edge with distressed inks. I have a piece of fabric, and I stamped the word journal. This was on the edge of a piece of a scrap of book page, and I just left that at the top. So I'm trying to decide if I want to put that kind of in this corner and glue this whole thing down. I have a couple of the different colors of cheesecloth, and I don't know if I want to use the darker or the lighter on there. So I'm going to set this aside for a moment while y'all tell me, what do you think? The dark or the light? Should I put a little piece behind? I don't know. I'm kind of thinking the lighter one. Just a little piece of it. Michelle had me crying before I started my live stream. She sent me a video that she made. It was a song that she made about Hercules. Whole drawer of cheesecloth? Yes, good. Hey, Amanda, welcome. Make it a flip out on. Oh, make it a flip out so that it's not attached all the way. That could be something we could do. I would want it to flip out and close. So we may have to do something with maybe we could use a Velcro dot. I saw some. I have some in black. Let me see. I thought I had some white ones. Oh, here's some. Let's use I've got a white. Maybe the black. The black would look okay, I think, on there. So I'm going to put this back in here. Okay, so there's an idea. All right. So I think what I want to do first is I want to go ahead and punch a hole in the cover for my ribbons. And I'll go ahead and thread my ribbons on there so that when I put this piece on top, it's behind the ribbons, that is, are behind the front flip out piece. Now you know where your cheesecloth is? Well, good. You saw an ad while I was talking about to vote. So I'm wanting you I want to know if you think I should use this lighter green cheesecloth, the darker, maybe a little bit of both. I might do a little bit of both. Let's see here. I don't know. I don't see a lot of it, but I could put some over the paper. Let's see how that looks. There's the lighter. And let's look at the darker one. Get a little piece of cheesecloth. Anyhow, Michelle made a cute, sweet little video using ChatGPT, made a song about Hercules. I kind of like the dark. I think I like the dark. And I shouldn't have watched it before I started the live because it made me cry. Because I miss Hercules so much. Dante has been a really good distraction, and I love him dearly. He's now become Henry's dog. All right, so I still think about Hercules. I need it to be 4.5 inches. Yeah. Right? 4.5 both ways. So that would be 4.5, and that would be 4.5. All right, so I'm using this ruler, and I'm going to use the big hole punch and go in here and punch a hole. Use both? Yeah, okay, maybe we'll use a little bit of both. Okay, let's use a little bit of both. We may do that. Let me kind of lay this where I can get... The book page behind is just to kind of help give it a little more body. I think what I want to do temporarily anyway is at least get this part adhered on here so that it can be drying. And what I'll do is I'll stitch this. I think that's what I'll do. Yep. We'll stitch it in a moment. So we'll get the sewing lamb. This little sewing lamb that was made to let y'all know that we're going to go to the sewing machine here in a moment. I'm just going to cut a little bit of that off and then kind of twist it, fray it. All right. Put the remaining cheesecloth back in the cheesecloth bag. Close the drawer. Put it away. And while we're working on this piece, I'm going to put down a little bit of glue just to help hold the cheesecloth in place. Kind of bringing it down off the book page, and then I'll put this on top. Like so. Let me get a acrylic block here and smoosh that. All right, so on this portion, I want to do ribbons. And I got these 3 out, thinking that I would mix them together. I also have some of this lace here. And I can't remember how much I did on the other one. I like the fullness of that bow, so I'm going to untie it and use this as a guesstimator. So approximately, let's see here, 16 inches doubled-ish. So I'm going to do this. Go here. Let's go to 17 and double. And cut it. And then do another one. Like so. Now, I think I'm going to go ahead and do all 3 of these ribbons with it. Yeah, it was making me cry. I was like, "Aw, Hercules. I miss him so much." I saw some pictures on my phone. My phone, I have a Samsung Android phone, and so sometimes it shows me memories, and then because I have photos uploaded to Google, Google will show me memories. And it's like, "Aw, stop it. Don't do that to me. Make me miss them more." Like that little lace. It's just something I got when I was doing the design team stuff with Canvas Corp brands. They gave me a whole spool of this leftover ribbon, or not ribbon, lace. All right, so I'm just grabbing each one of these. So what has everybody been doing this week? What kind of projects have you worked on? I kind of shared this weekend we worked out in the yard for a while. I had a fountain that I made out of some objects. I don't know if it was 2 years ago I made it, or I know it was at least a year ago that I made it. And one of our friends, we met up at the hardware store, we call it Lowe's, and he said he was working on a fountain, and I had not put mine back together since the winter because I took all the water out so that the pump wouldn't freeze. So I told Henry, I said, I need to redo all of that. And I said, I have an idea of where I want to put it. And he was like, well, where? Because he doesn't always like my ideas because it's work for him to do. And I told him where and what I wanted to do. And he's like, okay, fine. And so we started to empty it all out. And he said, well, you need to go get some plants to put in pots. So I went to Lowe's again and bought some plants to put in pots. And also, while I was there, I ended up buying a couple of pots and brought those home and started putting it all together. And I didn't have enough dirt for all the plants to put in the pots. And so I had to go back to Lowe's and I bought more dirt and 2 more pots because I had plants left over and I wanted to put them in bigger pots. So I worked on that, and Henry helped me get the fountain put back together and level it. We filled it with water, and Dante is all like, what are you doing? What's going on? Why do you keep messing with this area? It was funny. Hercules would have done the same thing. He would have been standing there like, what is that? What are you doing? What's going on? Why are you paying attention to this? Pay attention to me. So I got it all done, and I just posted pictures of it. I think it turned out really cute. Handsome, pretty, whatever you want to call it. You need a huge hug from your mom today? Aw, well, I'll give you a virtual hug. You love the front cover panel? Thank you. I was doing okay until you got to looking at your old cat's pictures. Now you can again. I understand. Those memories, yeah, get you, don't they? You're cleaning up your desk. You have a home care people coming tomorrow to help you with light cleaning. Oh, well, good. I hope they help you get that all cleaned up. Garden pots. Gardening containers. Not pots and pans. Yeah, my mom's birthday was April the 9th. And every so often, I'll want to reach out to her, but of course she's no longer with us. She would have liked my little, I think I need to go this way, my little gardening setup that I've just done. We've also planted a bunch of other plants, some food. We've got watermelon and cantaloupe and squash and tomatoes and peppers and pumpkins. I planted some herbs. We have a little bit of this and that. Got some rosemary and lemon basil and some thyme. I'm trying to think what else we have out there. I think we have some spearmint. Okay. All right, so there is the ribbons that are going on the cover. And then let's get this. All right, so I want to go to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch on top of the green fabric. I don't know if I want to stitch next to the word journal. I may do that. I may stitch right around that portion, and then I can attach it here, and then we'll work on a way to hinge that together with some other paper on the back side and make it a flip out. How's that? Aww. 2 minutes, that's not the kitchen. All right, let's go over here. And so, hopefully the camera is at the right level. I didn't mess it up. Come on, computer, switch. Okay, good. Yeah, I think I've got to set up a zigzag stitch, regular thread in the upper and in the lower, black thread. And I'm just going to stitch right here. I do recommend that if you're going to sew on paper and fabric combined, that you let the glue dry first if you glued it together, so that it doesn't gum up your needle and make a big mess. All right, let's go this way. Now, do I want to back this with something for writing space? Oh, come on, computer, switch. I don't know if I want to back this with ivory paper. I don't want to cover up. Maybe I'll do it with fabric. All right, let's get some fabric. Let's see if I have. I don't know if I have a piece of green in here. That would be sufficient. Those have birds on them. Let me look in my bigger fabric stash. I know I have some coffee dye fabric. Oh, I have this. You know, this would work. I think that's it. That's the perfect thing, right? Okay. So, moving this over, I need a little piece of this fabric. I don't need that much. So what we're going to do is this is going to get glued on here, and I'm going to snip a little bit and then tear it if I can. There it goes. Pull out the extras. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is use some Fabri-Tac glue. It was fabric that I got, I think, either from the Quilt Guild or somebody gave it to me. And I've been using it here and there on projects. I don't know if the glue is going to soak through it. So if it does, we may have to alter our plan. Alright, so I'm going to get glue on this side first. Smush it. Alright, so looking at the cover, I'm just trying to smooth that out. Okay. So I want to put this kind of down just a little bit, and then it'll flip over like that. So I'm just going to crease this again. And then put some glue. Okay. I have to concentrate so I don't put too much glue, but I have to put just enough glue that this will stick. Okay. Close this up. All right. So now I've got this piece. I'm trying to move it over a little bit. Okay. Did I get too crooked? Trying to smooth it out. It needs to go this way a little bit. I have to remember to leave some of it loose or you can't open it. There we go. All right, so now I've got these little hook and loop. If I can get it open. Sometimes packaging is such a pain. All right, so I've got one of each. Are these? Oh, these are sew-on, so I got to glue them into place. Okay, got the 2 halves. Put this back in my drawer so I can find them another day. And I'm thinking that I'll put it here. Yeah, okay. So now I'm going to use a little bit of this glue. You lost your super glue? Uh-oh. Well, that can be annoying. All right, so I put a little bit of glue on here. I'll put it right about there. I probably should have put a tab behind that. And I still can because I have a little bit of this fabric. So I'm going to fold this in half. Put a little bit of glue in here. Lift this up. Where's my tweezers? Put this down. Okay. So now we've got that little tab so we can pull it. Give that a moment to kind of dry. I'm just putting a little bit of glue in between to kind of get that smoothed out. All right, so I'm going to barely touch this and then put some glue here. Ooh, don't mess up on me. Keep that lined up so it doesn't accidentally fall off. I'm going to kind of bring the cover together. Let me get my tweezers. There wasn't enough glue on this side. This is live. You see me do it. Yeah, I didn't have enough glue because I didn't reapply. Okay, that'll work. I just got to give it time to dry. Do I have it? Mush it! Mush it good! Well, it's just not sticking. Why aren't you sticking? Did I just not put enough glue on there? Sometimes that's why I like to combine super glue, not super glue, glue gun, like hot glue, yes, hot glue, with wet glues. All right, we're just going to let it set because I keep trying to pull it apart. And we're just going to hope that I did glue it shut. Okay. You have some clear ones? Well, those are nice. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for a moment because I want to work on the inside pages. I know I want 10-ish pages, and I've kind of showed these. So I have this page. Oh, I have this. I just laid out a few things trying to see what I wanted to do. I happen to have a piece of napkin and some sheet music. I need to remember that's going to go on there. I've got a glue stick here, so I think I can do this. Put a generous coating of glue stick down. It will dry clear, so you see where the purple is now. And then I'm going to lay this over it and smooth that out. Use my bone folder, flip it over to the back side. All right, we'll give that a second to dry. My thinking was, I've got this piece of paper and I've got some scraps here and other pieces. This is a piece from my grandparents' farm that I thought I could put on there. And then I have a piece of this fabric paper. I'm trying to decide if I should make a pocket. I've got this as another page that I want to put it in the journal, so I'm kind of okay with having the same pattern more than once. I think I need to do something on the back side there. I've got a little piece of book page, so if I put that down and kind of line this up with the edge, and then I'll glue this piece down. So this is from my grandparents' farm from 1924. It's falling apart and all in pieces, but I thought it would be kind of fun to use. So I don't think I need that deep, so I'm going to tear some of this off. And then I think what I want to do is put a little bit of glue stick on here. And then glue this down. There. Because it's really fragile paper, so I don't want to try to make a page with just that paper. I'm trying to slide it over just a smidge there. Okay, so I'm going to glue on here. We just piece it together. Make it work. Okay, now glue this down. Okay, smooth that out. I don't remember which kit this page is from, but it's one of Norella's, I'm sure. All right, so now I'm going to trim off the excess papers. I would start with like not quite a teaspoon, Julie, a little at a time, and shake it. And if that's not enough, just add a little bit more. So not a lot, because you don't want to put too much in there. If you do end up putting too much in there, just leave the lid off just for a little while so it'll evaporate. Okay, I like that. I can score this so that it's a little bit thicker. It's got a tear across here. I think instead I'm going to trim this down to be 11 inches. Let's go this way. This piece tore here, so I'm thinking I could get away with putting some washi tape on there. Let me see if I have, oh, here we go. We'll just, if I glue this piece I just cut off on the back side. That'll fill that hole in, and I can then put the washi tape over that edge to kind of hide where I pieced it together. All right, kind of smoothing that out. All right, and now I'll take this washi tape. I'm going to put down a layer of glue stick. And then, let me get this where I can see it better. Oh, don't stick where I don't want you to, please. Okay. Get my scissors. Scissors. I always put a little scrap here so I can pull it off the roll. Okay. So now I got this piece that I can put on the page like that. Let's add some distress inks, then we'll glue it down. I was adding the piece because this was scrapbook paper when it was torn out of the pad, the paper pad, and it tore it, and I didn't like that jagged edge, so I added some washi tape. You like it with the patch up there? All right, so let's glue this down. Like so. About tassels, how would you add a tassel to the spine of a paperback book that I'm keeping most of the pages in? You might. Here's a couple of ways. Okay, you could take a piece of wax linen thread and somehow attach it inside your book. So whether it be on the inside cover and you put another piece of paper over it, and you'll have a little loop sticking out, and then you could add the tassel onto that. If you can poke a hole through the cover anywhere, you can stick a piece of thread through it or use a ball pen. But I think using the cover and just putting it really close to the spine and maybe covering it with a piece of paper, tie a couple of knots in your wax linen thread, and then tape this down, glue it down with a piece of paper over the top of it, and then you'll have a little loop that you can hang off of. You like that? Okay. Oh, don't lose that. Okay, so that is now together. I'm going to give that a few minutes to dry. I put a piece of coffee dyed paper on this side, and this one should be dry now. So, do I want to rip this like here and make a pocket? Let's do that. I'm going to rip this. Okay, and then I think my napkin, yes, if I take a scoring tool and score this, So I'm going to score that edge. Okay. And then I want to score this way. Score. Making a pocket. And then let's score this way. Like so. Birdies go choo-choo. Okay. Wax linen thread or ball peen. Yeah, you could do either one of those. Or both combined together, you know. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is find my scissors and trim that. And trim that. And then kind of trim this back. And this side as well. Get rid of all of these pieces. Let's add some distress inks and fold all those edges in. Another thing I could do if I want is stitch around this edge. Do I want to do that? I've had this little napkin piece laying around in my stash here that I had kind of set aside, and I'm like, I need to do something with that. So my thinking was putting that on here, and then we have a little pocket to put stuff in. I don't think it needs the stitches. We could add something else on here, but I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. You have wax and crochet thread and that you, oh, there you go, crochet thread that you've waxed yourself. It may not be as strong, but it will work. Stretchy thread for beads. If it's stretchy, you may not like it for putting a tassel on because then it will keep stretching and it could break. So if you have crochet thread or wax linen thread or thick quilter's thread, that would work better to put your dangle tassel on the spine. All right, so let's put this down. Now, is that straight? It's as straight as it's going to get. All right, so let's put... Oh, yeah, I was thinking of that, but I don't need that. I may want this for something. So we need something to go in the pocket. I may have a piece of... I can make that fit. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to take this piece and cut it a little bit shorter. So I want it at least that short. Right? Yes, short, short, short. All right, so now this piece should fit. I've got too many things lying on my desk. It's time to put them away. All right, so that'll fit in the pocket. Hopefully I didn't glue it shut. There we go. So now I want to trim this so that it's just short of the page. So right about here, cut that piece off. Okay. All right, so this is going to go in here. Cooperate. Okay, so it's right inside. So let's distress that. And I have this lace laying here. Let's put a bit on that edge, maybe. Dental floss, yes, dental floss, duh. Dental floss would also work. Fishing line, if you happen to get into your husband's fishing supplies, would also work. Beading wire, the coated kind, not just the flexible kind that you bend and shape it, but the beading kind that's designed for sliding the beads on, that has a coating. You could use that as well. Embroidery floss could also be used. I'd use all the strands. I wouldn't only pull, a couple of threads. I'd do like a piece folded in half so that you would have enough strength to it. Because you don't want it, you got to think about your tassel is going to have wear and tear on whatever you attach it to. So the more stability you have in the connector, the longer it will stay on your journal. Okay. Yeah. Somebody else I saw the other day was doing something with dental floss. I'm like, oh yeah, dental floss. I think I'm just going to put a little piece right there. Get this glue. So we'll get a little bit of an eclectic look here. All right, so let's glue this down. Smush it into place. All right, get my fabric scissors, which I've moved over here. Here we go. There. Give that a chance to dry. While that's drying, let's go back to my cover and make sure that I may not have gotten it. Come on. There we go. Okay. That seems to be stuck. All right, so let's put this piece on here. I think kind of centered is okay. And we'll use, oh, that's right, it's paper to paper. I can use Aleene's tacky glue. Yeah, you can use whatever color of embroidery floss you want. You made a tassel and had it picked out to use, but I didn't know how to get it to stick on the book. Gotcha. Well, I hope that gives you an ideas to try. Some journals, if I made the outer cover and before I put the pages in, I would punch a hole in the spine, and then I could use a ball pen or use a brad that has a jump ring on it. One of those. I used to have some. I don't know if I still do, by Tim Holtz. I'm looking here to see if I have. The Hodgepodge hardware. I don't see one. I have. Here's another idea. You could punch a hole, and then this is got a hole for a brad, and then it's got a little ring on it. That's another way you could attach. Here's another one that's kind of a hinged piece. And There's some in here in silver. Same concept. It just kind of depends on what you have, too. I always forget about this hardware stuff. I don't ever use it. I don't ever use it. Maybe I'll use one of these pieces to put on here. Okay. I think I will. Because this Velcro dot is kind of coming loose when I pull on it. So, if I were to get my junk journal tools and do this, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to poke a hole in the center. And it's obvious on this side now. Now let's see if I can open this up. Is it taped? Oh no, okay. Oh, it has another layer. How annoying. Come on. There we go. So I have this one, and then a brad in the middle. I think that's what I'll do. All right. I guess I'll put this back together. Maybe. Another thing I could do is put it all in a Ziploc bag. It would take up less room than all that packaging. All right, so we're going to take this piece, poke it through, pull this apart, poke that through the hole, poke that through the hole. Let me see if I need to help it along a little bit. It's tight. Okay. Poke it through the hole. Good grief. It does not want to go through. There we go. Now I need to open the legs. And I'm going to smush that back. There we go. So now I've added this on the front, which will help strengthen the Velcro dot. And because it's got this piece going across there, it's not as tight. So we could put a pocket on here. I made one earlier. I don't know if it's too big. Oh, it's too big. Well, no, it fits right in there. I mean, I know that this says journal and that says journal. I could always take this one out and put a different pocket there. I mean, a different card. I think that's what I want to do is glue this one down. Yeah. One fabric there, so. Looks like it was meant to be, doesn't it? Yeah. The flower and the flowers. You like the cover? Oh, I'm glad you do, Julie. Thank you. All right, let's glue this down. Okay. Okay, I like that. Now, do I want to use this in the pocket, or do we get a different card? I do have this little thing that I made a while back. I could put that in the pocket, unless you think the green journal card. I have that journal card. I have this, if we wanted to put something lighter in there. We'll have more birds. These are some digitals from Calico Collage. I could do those. Different card. Okay, I picked a different card. Alright, I'm just going to lay these here for now so that the pocket can finish gluing and I don't accidentally glue it shut. I like it! Okay, okay. So let's go back to this piece. So it should be dry, so I can pop that in here. And let's look at... Do I want to add something on top of that? Or... let's get out the miscellaneous things. I have a green tag that I could put behind that and just put some ribbon. That might be kind of neat to put there. And let's look at the words. I have nature. We could put that up here. And since we had it out, I'll get a little piece of cheesecloth. I also have the word sing. So sing or nature. I'm going to set this over here in my pile. Move this. Not the green. Okay, I moved out the green journal card. No green journal card. I gotcha. I gotcha. Got you covered. All right. Okay. So I'm going to glue this down as a pocket. It look good. Tough choice. I'll glue this here. And then let's use the lace. Since we already have green, where's my little string? We'll pull this through. I could stitch it on the sewing machine. Do I want to do that or tie a knot? I think I'm going to stitch it. Because it puts a lot of bulk when you tie a knot. But if I can fold it over. Yeah, we'll cut this a little shorter. There we go. Trim that. And I'm just going to stitch right across the top there. I get the sewing machine turned on? Okay. Did I have thread? Yes. Okay. You love that lace. It's just a simple little lace, huh? Okay. So let's do sing on this page. And I'm going to grab a little bit of cheesecloth. Not a lot, just a tiny, tiny piece. And then glue that down. And glue that down on top. Not too frilly, yeah. There we go. Put that back in my thing. Put the scissors back. Okay. I don't have anything on the inside here, so I happen to have a little piece of fabric laying here. And I think I'm just going to glue it down. It was a piece that I cut because I was playing around with fabric making dog bandanas. And I guess that piece didn't make it in the trash, so it got used. How about that? It was like it was meant to be. It was just laying here. Since I have the butterflies out, let's stamp them on here. All right. Now, let's see how this is going to look. I think I'm going to stamp it again. I'm going to put a scrap of paper down here so that I don't stamp on my desk, because I can't remember if this will fit. There we go. Oh, it kind of blurred, but that's okay. It's handmade, y'all. Okay. Keeping it relatively simple. Let's see what we can put over here. I was trying to see if I found something that there's a corner, like a rose piece. But if we were to glue that down and make a little pocket. Now, do I want to put something else with it to make it a little bit thicker? You know who's not here? Jennifer's not here. I wonder where she is. I hope she's okay. All right, what if we put this behind there? And I'm going to add some distress inks to that piece. Now, it won't be really sturdy, but maybe, just maybe, I can find one more something. I don't know, this may be totally the wrong color green, but let's pretend that I'm only using a small portion of it. Why not? I mean, I know this green and this green matches. Do I want to use that piece? I have this piece, but it isn't big enough. Not big enough. Oh, I keep finding much smaller pieces. Oh, I had a piece earlier that I didn't use. What if this would be better? You need to find the archival jet black ink pads. Oh, you tried the Tim Holtz one, but it's not acting right. Of course, you're in Australia, so I know that Hobby Lobby carried these. Okay, so you like hearing me be silly and goofy? I think that might work. Now, do I want to glue down the doily and kind of tear that piece? Maybe. I'm going to glue the doily down first. All right. Yeah, since she's in Australia, she doesn't have Hobby Lobby. Okay. I'm tearing the edges carefully, as best as I can. Ugh, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. My piece of paper wasn't very big, so I'm trying to work with what I had. There we go. Had to get it started. I did that because that doily is so thin that when I go to glue down that piece as a pocket, I'm afraid it would just rip. So, by adding that piece of paper to the back of that, I was originally going to put it in the corner. Let's see if that's what I still want to do. Yeah, let's do that. We could also get a word phrase or something to put on here. Yeah, brick and mortar are nice to have. They're not always available. I went into our Hobby Lobby and they have reduced their rubber stamp selection down to one stamp unit, little wooden cabinet, and then they have some polymer clear rubber stamps. It's like, wow, they used to have a huge selection of rubber stamps for years and years and years, and it's just dwindling down. It's sad. Okay. I think I want to glue down this little postcard in here. There. And then maybe we could do thoughts. Why not? Let's do thoughts. You may have to get somebody from America to send it over to you in an incognito box. Send it to you as a gift so you don't have to pay for VAT taxes on them. Okay. All right. And that should be drying in a moment, but this can go. I think I like that. Just kind of keeping it somewhat simple. All right, this should be good to fold. Trying to smooth it out. I have this piece of glitter cardstock paper. So should I make it square and then this piece I can put on something else? Maybe? Let's see. Let's see what the width of this is. It's almost 4.5, so let's just do 4.5. Alright, so this, I'm just going to put in the pocket here. And then this piece, let me get a piece of cardstock. Do I have a bigger piece here? So I could put that on here. Do I want to cut that into strips? I wonder if I've got a bigger card. No. When I want something, of course, I can't find it. Isn't that usually how it goes? I have this postcard I might use. Is it in here? Oh, here we go. What if I did that? Let's see. I think what I want to do is trim this in half and then put it on the edge and cut off the top. I could put, yeah, let's cut this in half first. Let's see what this comes out to. All right, so this is not quite 2 inches. May not be perfectly straight, but I'm thinking of putting that on here and then just cutting off that excess. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. See, that makes it look finished. I'll add some distress inks to it. They have no idea what they're doing to us. They're just getting rid of all of our craft supplies. And I don't know if it's because there's just too much competition online. You know, people have online shops everywhere now, so maybe that's why they don't do it. Maybe their sales have dropped drastically on the craft supplies because people don't buy that much. I know I don't. I hardly buy any anymore. I went recently because I was looking for really stiff, fusible interfacing so I can make little dog bows. They're bow ties that can be attached to their collar. There's elastic here so they can attach over your collar, and they have to have stiffness to them. So I was there to buy that, and I think I bought maybe one other little thing. I didn't spend a lot of money. They have way more home decor stuff now. Okay, I got that one on this side. Yeah, you think so. The big reason is the online sales. I know that, you know, so many stores here in the U.S., they've gone to, you know, self-checkout. They are highly encouraging online purchasing with either free delivery if you order a certain dollar amount or pick up at the store, because it's so much more cost effective for them. They don't have to have near as many employees chasing people around in the store. You know, they don't have to worry about as much theft, because it's kind of hard to steal online unless, of course, you're using a stolen payment. We have a little scrapbook store that she just recently moved to a new location. I haven't gone up to see her new location yet. I need to go do that sometime. Look, I like that. Let's do this one too, and then it'll be done. And I used up all these pieces. All right, so we made some pockets. We've made a flip out. I think I'm going to put this one in here. And then I've got this faux postcard. So I'm going to add some distress inks to it. I don't know where I got it. It may have been something that somebody gave me. It may have come in a paper pack. I don't know if it was in a, what do you call those? A paper pad where it was cut up. I can't really tell. I smudged on it, so I'm smudging on purpose now. There, that kind of gives us a little bit of variety in our pages. Do the back side. Yeah, the Kaiser craft shops are mostly gift things. Since we have butterflies, I'm thinking stamping some butterflies on that, or do I have some in the right color already made? Oh, there's a yellow one. I have this shade of green. So if I were to put one of those, and then this will drop down, put a little green butterfly there. I'm going to stamp on it. And a rose. There we go. All right, let's get out a butterfly. Fly, butterfly. So let's do that one. Put that back in here. Ride round, baby, ride round like a record, baby, ride, ride, ride round. Oh, I got to cut out the innards. At least partially. Okay. I'm going to put it at an angle. Okay. So then this can go in here. Now, do we have something that might go on here? I guess that could be a pocket. It's one of Norella's images. And then here's a journal card we could put in that pocket. Aww. That reminds me of Hercules. And Norella included in the Punked Out Steam kit a little Yorkie because of my dog Hercules. So is that too much? I think that's too much for that page. I'll save it. I'm looking in here to see if there's another piece. I might use that as a pocket somewhere else. I just have this little envelope full of things. Okay. Okay, let's put this away. And I'm going to glue this down as a pocket. Yeah, it is annoying if you want something and the brick or mortar store doesn't carry it in their physical store. You can only get it online. That's what a lot of shops I've noticed are going to as well. Okay, leave that for this side. And maybe I'll find a little image or something to put on here. I see this. I think this is something somebody sent to me. Like a little, I don't know if it was washi tape that they glued to something else or little pieces of paper. Oh, no. These are from a lady that was at a retreat with me, and she had these little tear-off notepads. They were tiny, as small as these pieces of paper, and she let me go through them and tear some off. So let me set those. There were stickers. There was all kinds of stuff that she let me have. Oh, yeah, and she let me have a war ration book. And it has all these little war ration stickers, things in there. Even had her name on her receipt here. It was kind of an interesting little thing that she shared with me. Sugar ration. These are old, really, really old. It's funny, you know, I don't see stuff for a while. And then I get them out from y'all to look at it. And I was like, oh, let's use that. I have these butterflies I might try to use. I just saw an envelope from my parents' address when they sent me stuff in 1998. Okay. I'm trying to be quick, but I'm like, what else is in here that we might use? I might use something out of that. So let's get that out for a second. Oh, we have these, so maybe I'll combine that. I don't know if this one has more. Let's do that one maybe. Okay. I can get out all the things and make a mess on my desk. I was thinking, I don't know, that may not work. I have an orange butterfly I could put, just kind of making a little collage. Let's do it. I don't think this is a sticker. It doesn't feel like one. Wonder if I should get out some cheesecloth. Y'all sick of it yet? Okay. Let's get a little piece. And maybe a little piece of a book page. Let's see if I've got a scrap laying here. So if I did something like put this in here. Oh, stick where I want you to stick, just temporarily. And then put the butterfly. I think that'll be a nice little collage. I know, I got everything out to do all that. Not sick of it yet? Okay. Do I want that behind? Okay. So, to kind of get where I want it, I'm going to glue this piece down first. There we go. And then I want a piece of the cheesecloth. Lay that in here. And then I want to lay this piece down. These were little tickets that I got from Canvas Corp Brands that I just played around with some watercolors. And then let's put the plant. I feel like it's coated, so I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac beacon glue. Okay. Close the lid. And then let's put the butterfly like that. Oh, you know, we could also put a word. Where are the words? I have soar. I have grow. Wait a minute, let's do soar. Like fly away, soar. Should I put the soar up there or down here? I'm going to put it down there. It fits better. Okay. There. All right, this should go in the pocket. So we have an eclectic feel. I've done something on this page. All right, let's do this. Let's kind of look at what do I want in the center of the journal. That could be in the center. This could be the first page. And then these in the middle. So what did I say? This one in the center? No. Yeah, let's do this one in the center. So I'm going to put that over here. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is a mop-up paper that I had. This is on my better paper too. A sheet music, another mop-up paper, another mop-up paper, and then this is some handmade paper. It's really fragile, but I think it would just be pretty to have it in there. So let's start with the sheet music. And then let's do this page. And I want this kind of a golden page. And let's do this colorful page. It's got a kitty cat. And we'll do this handmade paper. And let's do the napkin pocket. And then this one. And it's got bright pink. And then we'll put some green beside it. And then put this in the middle. It's chunky! Okay, so now I've got my cover here. We're going to put this together. You feel like you're the only one here? Everybody stop talking, Julie? Well, if you just quit running people off, I mean, gosh, you say things that are so controversial. It's all your fault. Is that my... Here, nope, that's not it. Where's my template that... There we go. All right, so we need to do 3 times the height of my journal. So 1, 2, 3. Get my fabric scissors. Ow, I just cut myself. Crapola. Ow. I have Band-Aids here somewhere. I have to find some. Where is it? Well, when all else fails, use washi tape. Don't look, y'all. I'm going to get some washi tape. All right. I know I have Band-Aids here, but so y'all can't see it, I covered it up. Woo, that hurt. Don't worry, I'll clean it when I'm done. Those scissors are sharp, y'all. It got me good. Okay. So put that there. I need this and I need this. So I need my clips. That's smarted. Yes, away for sure. You use super glue? Yeah. Super glue is handy too. Right now, I'd probably make a mess with super glue, so I'll have to wait until I'm done with y'all. I didn't want y'all to see the blood. All right, I think... Are we in the center? No. That's not as centered as I want it to be. All right, that's still not getting where I want it. But it's because I'm trying to do it live with y'all here. Now, does that get it? Okay. Okay, come on. Trying to get it beat up. Okay. Oh, you never intended to have a 10-inch tall journal? That's pretty tall. Oh, that's not what I want. Okay, so we're going to do this differently. Because I did this last time and it worked out better doing it this way. So first, I'm going to punch the holes through my pages. And then I'm going to go back and punch the holes through the spine and put it all together. Because if I don't, then I end up missing and not getting the holes punched where I want them. So that should be pretty much centered. Okay, make sure that's in the center. Okay. Put the template away. We'll do with that in a moment. Just to kind of help keep these together. I'm going to start in the middle. Go through the pages. Then through the cover. Okay. Try not to pull the thread all the way through. Then go in through the top here. Through the pages. There we go. Sometimes you just got to have a little bit of patience and work through the issues. Oh, my ribbon got in the way. Okay, go through the cover on the outside. There we go. Pull it through. Slip it through. All right, so I'm going to tighten this all up, and hopefully it'll work the way I want. Yep, that's tight there. That's tight on the inside. Tie a square knot. There we go. Close it all up. Put it away. Okay, back over here. Back over here. Put this in here. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to stamp it and put made by. There we go. Oh, what's the question? I'm digging through my sewing threads. Will cotton covered thread or cotton cooling thread work for the tassel? I think so, because it should be thicker. As long as it doesn't fray on you, you may want to put like if it's multi-fibers, you may want to put a little bit of glue or fingernail polish on the ends before you loop it over. I would tie it in a knot so that there's a knot that goes behind your piece of paper that's going to help hold it into your journal. Braid several strands together. That's another good idea too. You know, there was a technique we had as a kid where we made friendship bracelets by making knots. Today is April 20th, 2026. So Hercules died January 20th. On February 20th, I got Dante. Beeswax, you could do that too. Yep. I'm tying a bow with the ribbon. Okay. This fell out earlier, so I'll put this back in. Put this one back in. So now we got a variety. So the cover, and I have room that I can put charms on the ends if I want, but there's the cover, and this opens up, and we have a pocket here. You could place another pocket over there if you wanted. Then it's tied with a plethora of green ribbon and lace. I like all that fullness. I didn't put a pocket on the inside. We could, but I didn't. So we were kind of carrying the themes of the butterfly on the front to the inside. And this page has some... Oh, I guess I was going to glue that together. Before I do that, let's stamp the edge. And then I'll glue that together. I just saw that was a Calico Collage image that I printed smaller when I told my printer, I think I told it to print it like it was a 5x7 page. And then I cut those apart and it gave me this nice batch of smaller images that I could use. So I'm just going to put that on there. I think my husband's home and he might be cooking dinner. I smell it. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick flip through and maybe add a few things. But I think for the most part, this journal I can call finished. I may piddle around with it some more, but I feel like it's more completed than it was before I made a cover. gel print sticker on some cardstock. There's a, what do you call it? Rolodex card. And I just put a scrap of green on there. Digital image. More green. Another sticker. Calico Collage cat image. Did some stamping on it. That's a paint chip. Little card that somebody gave me. Handmade paper that I made. This is a napkin. And we have a little plain journal card there. And then we have a little tag that I stuck over here. Could put other stuff in there. Butterflies. More butterflies. And I think it's okay to have a little pop of pink in here. Why not? And then we have some more color here. And then we kind of kept it more muted. I love the ledger receipt. Using up stuff that I've had in my stash. This was a page out of a catalog for buying flowers. Henry is there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Emerald Rose digital image. A piece of fabric that I had on my desk. I just stuck it down. And then the word journal. Used a doily and scrap of paper and a Calico Collage image and rubber stamped images. Some more scrappy pieces. Good people bring out the good in people. This was a stamped mixed media paper in the background that I just added a sticker to. And then here's a piece of watercolor paper, a cardstock that I stamped and then added the sticker. It's a little card that I made out of paper sack. Will you make a flip through video of the journal to music? I don't know if I will or not. I don't ever do that. I guess I could. I haven't done those in a while. I need to do several. Oh, this is a pocket that's up here. I forgot to show y'all that earlier. And this is just using a whole bunch of scraps on that page. And then here's the last. And then the end. The digital jars. Aren't they fun? All right. Tying it off. There. I like it. I may add a couple more things to it, but I think for the most part it's done. The cheesecloth is a little loose. I might, let's see if I can put a little dot of glue there. Now this one isn't as frilly as the pink one, but it just shows a different concept altogether, doesn't it? I don't know. It's fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Upside down pocket in the middle pocket in the bottom pocket. Yeah, there's not pockets all over the place. I saw something else that I wanted to finish. Let's see. Oh yeah, I have a what was it called? Be Free journal kit, the kind of bohemian kit. I have kind of started. This looks like it should be a planner page. I don't know. I may work on that. That may be the next project because I saw it today and it has all these things kind of bundled together. And then I've got some leftover pieces I could use over here. And then I've got another journal that I made a while back that needs a couple of elements added to it. So I'm going to leave it available to work on. Never too many pockets. You're going to have more pockets. Well, thank you all for being here and hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate your support and just your chatting with me and everything. It just makes this go by so much happier, fun, smooth, however you want to say it. And you give me great inspiration of the things that I work on. I hope that y'all are inspired to use some of the things that I shared today to make your own journal, get in your creative space and make something. And feel free to tag me on social media. You can share it here on YouTube or on Facebook and tag me. You can also send me an email at emailme@lindaisrael.com if you want to take a picture and you want to share it that way, but not necessarily on the public. Please feel free to do that. Be kind to those out there. We never know what someone else is going through, and your act of kindness may just make the difference. And also have grace for others. I struggle with it too. Um, some things happen to somebody else and they may be angry and they may be driving erratically, or they, slam the door at a business and, everybody's like, whoo, think, I'm sending a prayer that they'll have a better day. And in turn, it'll make us have a better day. All right, everybody, have an amazing week. And again, like I said, do something creative and please feel free to share it with me. I'd love to see what you're working on. Y'all take care. Lots of love to everybody. Bye. Oh, and thank you for your donation and your time. Thank you so much, everybody. Lots of love to you. Bye-bye. Yes.